Hey, out there in Zoom land, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
For folks on Zoom, be sure you mute your computers because we're getting feedback here.
Trustee Walker, is that you on Zoom? Test. Trustee Walker, is that you on Zoom?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. Thank you for confirming.
Okay, I've got 7 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. We've done a tech check. We have all trustees are present either in person or on Zoom. And with that, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, for the agenda, I do have, I'd like to add a 7A discussion item on planning. And with that, I would entertain any additional additions, deletions, or corrections to our agenda. And if there are none, I'd entertain a motion.
Accept the agenda.
Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. Do we accept the agenda as correct, as modified? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, moving on to item 3. Our consent agenda, which is meeting minutes from November 19th. Are there any corrections to those minutes?
Yes, I have one.
Okay.
So, in the top portion, there's where we're at here, next to the third from the bottom of, number 2 is the addition of 7B. Let's see, is that my? I'm sorry. There's, can you move down, please? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm too far. I'm not prepared, obviously. I'm pulling it up so I can see it. Okay, so I was about at the right spot. So on number two, it states trustee Bell motion to substitute item 6C, the town manager contract with the budget discussion under 7B. Then under 7B, if you go to the discussion, there's an absence of documentation of that discussion. And so what I'd like to add to the minutes is the chart that I presented, as well as just a brief statement that trustee Bell presented to the last available 4 years of audit data, demonstrating that the administrative expenses showed less than an 8% fluctuation during that time, and during the same period, there was a doubling of public works expenditures, and that for the same period from 2018 through 22, our net position of unrestricted funds was increasing, and that our net position was increasing. So, and I can give you details after the meeting. That should be pretty good. All right, thank you.
Are there any other corrections? If not, I'd entertain a motion. I'll move to approve the consent agenda as modified. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Do we approve the consent agenda as modified? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Moving on to reports, mayor and trustee reports. I'll go down the line with our trustees.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Just one brief thing for the trustees. So it's a new year, and I was thinking about the priorities for the town and the importance of having that discussion show up on our agenda soon. And if the fellow trustees haven't started to think about their priorities for the coming fiscal year, to do so in anticipation of that discussion.
Trustee Walker on Zoom, do you have a report?
No report.
Okay. I've got a few items. We will likely need to meet on the 21st. And the reason is there's a lot of background work going on with our main bridge. We actually have a state entity that's helping us write the grant. They came out and they did an inspection of it. The anticipated cost, or the estimated cost, has now ballooned to $7.9 million. And they may be wanting to give us a presentation on potential funding opportunities for that. Obviously, we'd have to get a grant, we'd have to get local match, but then we'd also have to get a loan to pay off the contractor as time goes. So right now, there's a possibility we may need a meeting on the 21st. More to come. If it solidifies and becomes real, I'll let everyone know. Our audit is hopefully coming to an end. The state is now withholding our funds. So we need to get it completed. The latest message I have from our auditor sounds like it's potentially doable, maybe next week, or maybe again on the 21st. And depending how things go later on this week, I may be reaching out for your availability either on Thursday of next week, Wednesday or Thursday of next week, or, we may just go ahead and schedule for the 21st. We also have a lot of work that's kind of going on behind the scenes with Hotel Park. Trying to make sure that, see what it would take to get water to it. It's my understanding that a lot of the landscaping may depend upon water. And then also making sure everything is really truly closed out and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully more to come on that. We may be able to start moving with some things around the Hotel Park area. So That's all I have for now. Go to the staff reports.
I got Marshal Sean Goings up next for staff reports.
Man, it's cold enough. My fingers aren't working. Sorry. This was not in your packet, so I'll give you, just hand it out.
Thank you.
All right, December for the marshal's office was a slim month because we had about 2 of us that took some vacation time. Although we did have some cases that came up. We had a total of 19 calls for service. We assisted Woodland Park PD with their Christmas parade. We had another agency assist us on a call. All of the reporting that is necessary every month has been completed. The reserve officers worked a total of 17 hours. And all of the marshal's office staff completed all of their training that's mandated by the state for the year. So we're all up to date on that. Also, yeah, where did it go? I had some stats for had being the keyword. We took approximately 425 calls for service as a marshal's office last year. We had, of those 425 calls, about 170 of them were traffic stops. So nothing super major to report on that, just some year-end stats that I thought might be interesting for you guys. Questions? Do you want the other stuff now, or is that during a different time?
Why don't you go ahead and brief that now? Because that's going to be like one of our first business items.
Okay. One of the things that I was tasked with was doing the background check for Mr. Patterson. Due to holidays and timing, that has not come back yet. And so I think that when they were off, they probably got a backlog of things, and it's taking them longer than normal to do background check. I did do a cursory background check of Mr. Patterson. I checked him through the National Crime Information Center, the Colorado Crime Information Center. He does not have any warrants. His driver's license is good, and as a matter of fact, he's got a Class B CDL that's in good standing as well. I did also check throughout the entire state in every county. He does not have any outstanding cases or any cases at all for that matter. So the only thing that we're really waiting back on is the background check from the sheriff's department. We're kind of at their whim just because in their will. Just waiting for that to come back. And like I said, I think they have a backlog. We will get some credit information, some other things that we'll need to keep an eye on, but I don't find anything that's as of concern at this point for Mr. Patterson. So.
Thank you. Okay, Dusty, I guess you're next.
Dustin McLean, Public Works. Monthly report for December. We received 4 inches of snow, I think in one snowstorm. We got out and plowed and sanded, I think maybe once or twice for that storm. The 4 inches brings us up to 33 inches for this winter. Snow count. Park's still doing a bi-weekly trash pickup. Everything's pretty mellow, being the off season. Got Christmas decorations up and helped Don facilitate extension cords for the lights around the lights around the whole park. Those will probably come down sometime in February, I'm thinking. We've been pressure washing and cleaning our sanders pretty regularly after each storm. We got new leaf springs, heavy duty leaf springs installed on the 2015 Ford F-350. Makes a pretty big difference with a load of sand in the back. Sits up pretty nice too. On top of that, we got an oil filter, oil and filter change, fuel filter, air filter, kind of do regular PM on that 2015 as well. We took the 16, the really big tires off of the dump truck, the new dump truck, and outfitted it with the newer dually tires. So I have a little bit more torque to get up the hills with the load on. And those the old tires, we'll probably get those up for auction sometime in the next couple months. The shop, we've been cleaning up and getting rid of more stuff. Obviously, we got the roll-off dumpster out of there. We did have to upgrade our air hoses, one of our air hoses for the air compressor to handle our 1-inch air impact gun to torque the lug nuts off of the military dump truck. The tire lugs were impressively torqued onto that truck. So we got a new air hose and new fittings to keep up with the 1-inch impact gun. As far as town hall, doing weekly janitorial duties, and we removed all the excess buildup salt sand from previous couple past plowings, since it's been pretty nice the last few weeks. And we've are ongoing with Kelly's CDL training at the moment. Hopefully we'll get his CDL by the end of the month. That's the goal. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Well, probably you might want to comment on the ice on the lake as far as,
Oh,
yeah,
yep.
thickness and whatnot.
It's pretty thick. I haven't taken depth checks at the outlet, but the inlet is still a little spooky. I'm seeing water, some melt off coming in from the inlet area. But I'm thinking here at the end of the week, it's supposed to be cold enough. I'll start doing some depth checks and we'll start getting the ice primed for ice skating season now that we're getting into the colder months. And hopefully we don't have any hiccups with big rocks and sticks frozen in the ice as there is now. Hopefully we'll be able to chisel those out. So,
And we are going to allow, we are going to allow ice fishing again, like we did last year, split it up.
People have already been doing it.
Yeah, I know.
I did see some holes out there, yeah. Yeah. So otherwise, that's all I have.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Thanks, Dusty.
Yep, thank you all.
I have a clerk report here. Ongoing activities. Really, I've been doing a lot of first of the year renewals, transitioning the town manager. It's amazing how many things Becky's plugged into, and we're, kind of decommissioning there and getting ready for Caleb. So that's been a focus right now. SDRs are happening. We're gonna for sure be at 60. We have a handful on a wait list. I have one that I know of that changed hands that won't be a renewal. So we will have one new SDR coming in that I know of so far. Colo Trust is on here. Becky felt like when we brought this up at a previous meeting, like you guys gave me the go ahead to move funds over. I'm getting that from you guys directly here now. I just wanted an absolute thumbs up. Okay, good. I'll work on that and report to you back on that next time I can. Some good news from Pinnacle. I think I probably should have run this through the board before doing it, but thankfully the savings are in our favor, and I hope it's okay. But I was able to just add a layer to CIRSA and move our workers' comp into that. Saved quite a bit of money, so I thought it was a good move. We didn't lose any benefits, so it's comparable benefits, and I'd be happy to show all that to you at the next meeting as well. the mayor covered the audit stuff. Some things that are coming up. The fee schedule should be in this meeting. Appointments of town officers should be in this meeting. We're gonna hold it out until we have our new town manager. So those are coming your way, and working with Jeff Parker on the election for November. So more to come on that. I'll be trying to retain my same election judges if I can. And that's all I have. Thanks.
Okay, that should be it for reports. Moving on to public comment. I know we had one person here that was signed up, so we'll go ahead and get started with Paul first.
Paul, Gary, Paul.
Yes, Lord. Okay. Paul Yingling, 11120 Pueblo Avenue, representing the Fire Mitigation Advisory Committee. I'd like to speak briefly on the chainsaw training we'll be doing with Team Rubicon, February 15th to 17th. First, thanks to the board and the town staff for your support of this training. We're going to have 24 seats, and we'll be filling that with as many town residents as possible, including trustees Bell and Walker. So thanks for your support. We have 9 folks signed up to participate in the training, and 5 homeowners who've consented to have their property used as part of that training. I'd like to ask for your continued support in advocating for folks who are willing to sign up for chainsaw training in February. That's a big ask. It will be cold. We'll be using my home as a base of operations on the west side of town and mitigating the properties primarily in the northwest side of the town. I'll leave you with the Fire Mitigation Advisory Committee's tip of the month that details the dates, times, and locations for the training. But I'd ask if for all of our neighbors, as well as the members of the board, if you'd be willing to advocate for the program, we sure would appreciate it.
Can you send me that electronically?
Yes.
I'd be able to pop it in my newsletter.
Will do.
I haven't done January yet.
Okay, all right, I'll get that to you. And that's subject to your questions. That's my comment.
Okay.
I did also put this up on the alert banner on the website, so it's on our homepage. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, anyone else in the audience? Okay, we have another audience member.
The Funter. Hi, Lisa Bonwell, 10691 Illinois Avenue. I just wanted to take a moment to wish everyone a Happy New Year. And I wanted to thank Trustee Walker and the Public Works for creating such a beautiful, beautiful Green Mountain Falls that we had this Christmas. And it was just fantastic. It's beautiful. And thank you.
Okay, do we have anyone else in the audience? I'm not seeing any hands, so what about on Zoom?
I don't have anything coming in on Zoom.
Okay, with that, we'll move on to our first business item, consideration of approval for the new town manager agreement. I believe that everything that the board had stipulated has been met, and it's been signed and notarized. And again, I might suggest that the motion might be approve contingent upon receival of the final background check report. And that way, once that comes in, I can just sign it. And at that point, then we can really get things going, especially with the IT side of stuff.
I do have one comment.
Okay,
On the page 3, the designated beneficiary's name should be blacked out. That is personal information and should not be included for distribution.
okay. I'll make sure I get that. I'll have 2 copies. I'll have one for the board, once everything's signed, and then I'll have one available for public,
Okay.
but yeah, that's correct.
All
Sorry
right.
about
Thank
that.
you.
And I have one minor comment on, at the bottom of page 3 concerning performance evaluation. And given that this is an interim job, if our intent is to perform that, at a 4-month mark or
Yeah, we left it open.
I
So-
realize it's open, yes.
So
And
yeah,
it's something for us to figure out,
it's up to us to figure out when the right time would be.
correct?
June and July are kind of busy. We could do August or September, but you know, as far as board, let me know when and I'll forward out the you know, the information that I have for the performance evaluation.
Just raising consciousness because
Okay.
we lost track of Becky's
Yeah.
final JPR.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments?
No.
If not, I'd entertain a motion, and again, the motion ought to include the contingency for the final background check.
Yes, I'd like to move that we consider approval of the town manager agreement contingent upon the background check as written.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the new town manager agreement contingent upon the receipt of the final background check. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Trustee Walker, were you an aye?
He was.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Our next item is 6B, a special event permit for Skynet art installation, and I believe we have someone who'd like to make a presentation on that.
I do have Mr. Stroop here on Zoom to talk more about this.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, Jesse Stroop, 10770 Florence Avenue. And I have a special event permit application for the 2025 Green Box art installation, which we would like to install in Gazebo Park. Dates are June 1st through October the 30th. Likely we would install that first week in June and deinstall last week in October. And I've included some visuals in the packet. I've also sent out a video that I'd like Bo to show you all before I complete the presentation, just because it's a fun video to watch and it really explains what we would be getting.
One moment, please.
While he's loading that, I'll say that Greenbox is focusing on Colorado artists this year. And Poetic Kinetic is an artist group down in Colorado Springs who has many offerings, one of which is a Skynet, and they've installed these all over the world. And it looks like Bo is ready to go with this video.
I am. I'm going to play that now.
So thank you all for having a look at that. Super impressive in the urban areas, but really delicate, I thought, in the wooded terrain that we saw in those. Bo, if you could drop down to slide number 4. So this is a rendering of what Skynet would look like in Gazebo Park. And then if you would go to slide 5, there is an overhead shot of what that would look like. And then Bo, if you'll go back up one slide. And I want to talk a little bit about the construction of the piece. So this is a Mylar net that's suspended over the park. And he would be using, or we'd be using an arborist and attaching the majority of this to existing trees. He's done this in many locations, and it's nice not to have to put in a lot of infrastructure to do that. One exception would be the high point, which is going to be over very near the tree that we decorate for Christmas. I would need to install a radio tower there that would be similar to the ones that we installed in the lake for the Janet Eckelman project. And that would be engineered through Tech Engineering down in the Springs. Any questions?
Trustees, any questions?
Jesse, Trustee King here. What is the lighting at night?
So that has yet to be determined if we would have lighting or not. I'm gonna ask for latitude to have lighting installed. If we do, it would be low voltage LED lighting that would coincide with the park hours, so turn off at 10 o'clock. We saw with the Janet Eckelman piece that the illumination of it made it really, really exciting. And then any additional electricity that I need to run into the park would remain as part of the park.
Thank you.
And Jesse, from Mayor Dixon, I thought at one time I heard the colors may not be rainbow, but they may be like blues and greens. Is there any on the colors?
We did, we have asked the artist for it not to be, it not to look like the rainbow flag specifically. In this rendering that we're showing right now, it's hard to see it, but there's a lot of patterns that run through the entire piece. So if you go back up to slide number 2, Bo, you can see the green current that runs through that blue Skynet. Ours is going to have some currents that run through it that break up the specific colors. He hasn't finalized all of our colors yet. So that's what I know on that one.
Okay, trustees, any other questions?
No.
Okay. Another example of bringing art from around the world to Green Mountain Falls. If there are no other questions, I'd entertain a motion.
I will move to approve the special events permit application.
Second.
Mhm.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Do we approve the special event permit installation for Skynet Art? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that carries. Thanks,
Thank you
Jesse.
all very much. Thank you very much.
Moving on to item 6C, committee member appointments. I believe we have 3 total. Board, what's your pleasure? Do you want to go through each one individually or do them all as a group?
There's no opposition.
Okay. Okay. With that, we want Is yours dead? Yeah. Okay. Burrows, Johns, okay. With that, I'd entertain a motion then on all three.
All right, I'd like to move that we approve all three of the appointments presented in the packet.
I'll go ahead and second. Been moved and seconded. We approve all of the committee member appointments that are in our packet tonight. That would be for Catherine Guthrie and David Douglas and Shelley Scott Nash. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Our next item, I noticed that we didn't really have a process. And I'm kind of a process person. And so I did a swim lane, and I'll let Bo scroll up to it. So it basically says that if an opening comes up, that person notifies town hall, we put it on the website. Then, we put a deadline on it, whatever the needed deadline is. It can be a week, 2 weeks, whatever's needed. And then, after the deadline, if there's any applications received, then town hall will send those out to the committee, and committee will review them, and if they accept them, then they'll send them on to the board. And then if the board rejects it, it goes back up and restarts some of the process over. And if you'd like some time to review it, we can table it if you'd like, but I just noticed we didn't have a process in, and it did come up during the planning commission, so.
I appreciate you putting this together. Looks good. Are we accepting edits and suggested changes, or?
Yeah, if you want to, it could be something where we just table it, and if you want to get any changes to me, edits, just get them to me. I mean, there's no rush.
Minor, simple.
Yeah. So am I hearing maybe a table?
If you want to accept changes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
I can bring it back with the changes.
okay. Then I'd like to move that we table this issue of the committee and commission appointment process until the next meeting, so the trustees can provide you with suggested edits.
Okay. I'll go ahead and second that. So it's been moved and seconded that we table item 6D, the process until next meeting to incorporate any proposed changes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Item number 6E was brought about because I can't sit at the RTA meeting tomorrow unless we, by resolution, identify me as the town representative. They're their own taxing entity. And so we went ahead and tried to pull together all of them that we have. I'm obviously on PPACG for the next couple of years. And the Citizens Advisory Committee for PPACG is open. It was vacated by Ann Esch. And so if we have anyone that is wanting to do that, that is a vacant position right now. It's something that I encourage anyone who's interested to go ahead and send us your name and keep scrolling down. Yeah, that's the one, RTA Board of Directors. That's the one that it's an annual thing. So I'll have to come back and do it again next year. Of course, I think Craig Gooding is on the CAC. Oh, RBD advisor. That's one where I think we missed. I think Trustee Bell's in that one. Right?
That's correct.
Okay, so we need to modify that. I forgot Trustee Bell's in that one. Yeah, yeah. And then CML policy, I believe, trustee King is on that, but you expired in January
No, we voted on that before and I was extended to this year.
to 2025 and the 2025. Okay, so we'll want to include that as well. And Trustee Bell, do you want basically, I don't think the advisory committee on the RTA is limited. I mean, pardon me, RBD is limited like RTA is. You want to just leave that open for your term?
I'm not sure about that. I'll have to look into it.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's not that big a deal. We can put
For
it through
the
this year.
purposes of tonight, do you want to leave it to set it to 25?
Yeah, we'll let it set at 25 for now.
So are we extending tonight? So do we go to 2026 for CML?
You can. We can go ahead and extend you to 2026 if you'd like.
Okay.
I think we should do that for yourself and for trustee Bell as
Okay.
well.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other comments? If not, I can go ahead and make the motion if you'd like. I move we approve resolution 2025-01 with the modifications of trustee Bell for the PPRBD advisory committee through 2026 and trustee King through the CML policy committee through 2026. Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. We approve resolution 2025-01 as amended. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And I need to have that probably tonight so I can take it with me tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll put it together before you go.
Okay. Okay, moving on. Item 7A, planning. I put this on because, you know, we have a new town manager coming on board who has zoning experience. We have an existing part-time planner. And we also have myself who are between the three of us. I believe we can probably start pulling things back from baseline, but I wanted to ask the board's permission first. It would mean that if I assist with something, I would not be able to vote on it unless there'd be like a tie. So I would have to basically recuse if I work on it. And so I kind of wanted to get your thoughts. My thoughts are start pulling things back, you know, and start trying to work them in-house as much as possible. I'm getting heads bobbing up and down. Okay. I don't. Well, if it's a tie vote, I would probably go ahead and vote if it's a tie. You know, if it's a recusal, then it's an automatic no. But I would be open to the board, you know, if you wanted to not have me do that.
I do have a raised hand from trustee Walker.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, who's going to make the determination whether it's done in-house or what's subbed out?
My proposal is that nothing would, you know, there are obviously things in work and we may have to, you know, kind of transition. But my proposal is nothing would go out the baseline unless it had town manager approval.
I'm also seeing a raised hand.
Is it trust?
Caleb, did you have a hand up?
Yes, that was for me. I apologize. I was having a hard time trying to find the audio button there.
I thought I saw it, then it disappeared. Okay, now you got it. Here you go.
Perfect. Yeah, if there is if the board is, you know, wondering if there's any conflict of interest, you know, I can always take it up with our planning director. But in the meantime, until I, you know, get formally adopted, we can also choose to push this off to the next month. that though I apologize, Mr. Mayor, that's on you, but if the board is unsure, I'm more than welcome to talk about it next.
Yeah, I'm willing to help to assist, but then it gets kind of squirrely with when we get land use item to vote on. And my initial going in position would be to recuse. I don't think we've had very many that came in as a tie. Most of them are usually full one way or another. So, but yeah, in anticipation, we've already kind of pulled baseline off the contact website because I kind of figured we'd probably want to go this way. But yeah, we'll start transitioning out, try to pull things back in. Like I say, there's several things that are in work. But we'll try to not be too disruptive. That's all I have for discussion. We have any other discussion last minute? How about correspondence?
I have not received any correspondence for this meeting.
Okay, our last item is last public comment. Do we have anyone that would like to comment?
I'd like to ask a question.
Okay,
This is Ann. Yeah, I noticed you've reappointed me to the Water Quality Management Committee of the PPACG, correct?
correct.
And what I'd like to ask you, should I clear anything I say in that committee, or can I just say what I think is a problem? Can I just be me, or, do I have to clear it with all of you before I speak up at those meetings? I wouldn't want to do something wrong.
Yeah, and I would say just go ahead and speak up, speak your mind.
Okay, well, I know how to do that, so I will. Thank you.
You bet.
Bye.
Any other public comment? I'm not seeing any audience.
I do have one from Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry guys, that's me, Caleb Patterson. Well, I just wanted to apologize for not being there in person. We got a lot of snow that came in here on this side of the Santa Cruz Mountains. But I do look forward to hopefully that I don't think anything bad will come back from that background check. But I do look forward to working with you all here in February and getting things rolling. So thank you for having me.
And Caleb, congratulations and thank you for throwing your name in the hat for our position. I'll say welcome aboard at your first meeting.
I'm showing another raised hand from Trustee Walker.
Okay, go ahead.
That was a clapping hand.
My mistake.
Okay. Is there any other public comment? Okay, not hearing any. Folks, I have 7:49 and we are adjourned.
Good night, all.